Hello, everyone.
Hello. Welcome back.
Yes. We were just sitting here. Allergies are just horrible today. The last few days, really. Yeah.
Today's the worst for me.
Yeah. Oof. So
Yep.
we're a little itchy, and even though I have allergy stuff, but
Yep,
there's
me too.
at some point it just gets so bad. Yeah.
Yep.
Whew.
And
So
I'm always grateful because, I want to go to, oh, I took my allergy medicine. What's going on? But instead I'm like, oh man, how bad would it be if I didn't take that medicine?
oh yes. Yeah. Bad.
Bad.
Really bad. Yes. If I'm itching this bad, yeah, with it.
Yep.
So I think that I want to start today's podcast with something that happened yesterday in meditation. And
Okay.
uh, yeah, so as many of you know, we do Sunday meditations. That's our time to for all of us, practitioners to sort of get together, and that's our time to fill up and to yeah. And I didn't realize I was struggling with this, but apparently I was. The spirit's not going to bring me this message if I wasn't struggling. And Fred's the one that guides the meditation. I'm the one that gets to relay what he's saying, which is just beautiful. I get to be the conduit for that. So when I experience the meditations, I I still have processing to do later because I'm the conduit. So I'm talking and guiding everyone else through. I'm getting my own at the same time. There's like many moving parts there. So
Hmm.
I will get oftentimes I'll get the big things, whatever, the big messaging that comes in. But then as Mari-Lyn knows, I need a night to process the rest of it.
Hmm.
And one of the things, it was the first thing, was our first meditation. We often do a couple of them. And it was about when people question what I do for a living, they are really questioning their own faith, is what came in. However, their faith works for them, faith, no faith, whatever, they have something within them that is not feeling right. And so they will sort of lash out at me, or they'll say something, sometimes not very kind, or uh,
Hmm.
because we've talked about this a lot, we're very spiritual. We're not just metaphysical. There are people who are just metaphysical. They're psychics, they're healers, they're mediums, whatever it is, and it's very just metaphysical. They know that spirit's there, but they don't. There's a whole nother piece of it that's very spiritual for us,
Right.
and
Right.
that's also how we teach. It's the spiritual journey. It's not just about becoming
Right.
psychic or whatever. So there have been many times over the years where I just don't even tell people what I do, or I
Sure.
go to that place of, oh, I do, guided meditations and whatever, sort of keep it light and a little lighter, fluffier
Light
than
and fluffy.
light and fluffy. And so I'm thinking something's going to come along to test me. That's why I got this message now that I'm thinking about it. Because it was very clear when someone comes up to me and, what do you do for a living? Oh, this is what I do. Whatever it is that I say, I think I say different things all the time. People, you say multidimensional energy healer, and people look at you like you have three, like, what the hell are you
Oh,
talking? Yeah, what? But then it's not just a question, it's a very judgmental, they'll ask very judgmental questions. Or, that's stupid. Or they immediately think they know what I believe. That happens a lot.
Mm.
They just put it, oh, I don't even know. Like, people might okay, let's just talk about, put it in this, about ghosts. People who don't believe or not, they'll just blurt, there are no ghosts. That's so stupid. I can't
So
believe
stupid. Right.
you think that. And they laugh, and there's no such thing. Man, you really got suckered into it. And who are you suckering into believing that? Oh, you make money off of people who believe that. You're taking advantage of people, etc.
Sure.
Yeah. And that is just not the case at all, of course. But this new message that came on Sunday, because I immediately get defensive, because that's hurtful.
Sure.
To me that I'm a fraud and so this messaging that came around, that person is actually questioning what they believe.
Mm-hmm.
And they're dumping it on me. They want me to say something to them to ease their mind, to bring it into perspective for them, to make them, I don't know, make their, sort of choose a path for them or whatever. So that was really helpful to me to get that messaging. And now it's like, uh-oh, what's coming? Because I think maybe I'm being prepared for something.
Well, when you reach a larger audience,
Yeah.
which we're doing all the time.
Yes.
And as we move forward, that audience is just going to just widen.
Yes.
But the more people that we reach, the more people are going to question.
Yes.
They're going to question you, me, us together. And eventually, they're gonna question their own belief, lack of trust.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can say just real quick on that little something. So we used to do, as many of you know, we did reaction videos. We would do ghost hunting. We would react to them. And it got just beyond boring, and it was just awful. But we kept doing it because that's what the sort of, in quotes, community wanted us to do. And then we got messaging here and there all the time, but we clung to the fear of letting go of that.
Right.
We got all the time, Fred and Cowboy, whatever. Spirit was just saying, you're not being true to yourself. You're not going to enjoy it.
Right.
Where are your priorities? What are you doing? And so when we did finally say, we're done with those, and we're going to just show, we lost a lot of people. However, the people that we kept and the new people that are coming all the time want to hear what we have to say.
Very true.
I don't think we've had one, like, if I might say nasty, or one confrontational comment since we decided, no, this is who we are. This is what we do. And we're going to stay on our message and stay there.
Right.
So that really does cut away at its own, people. Yeah, I'm sure we'll get some, because we always do. You're in a public space.
You're in public, so it's,
yeah. But I know I feel so much better now that we are really sticking to our message and doing what Spirit is really guiding us to do.
What we're being guided to do.
Yeah. Yeah. You too, don't you think?
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, I think we both
Absolutely.
are. Yes, those clearings are amazing, and it does really help people. Yes, and it's an honor to do it.
I don't know what's happened, but I am getting horrible feedback.
Huh?
I'm talking.
Uh-huh.
And I'm hearing my voice back, and now it just stopped.
I thought you meant like Spirit was telling. It's like that.
No.
You got a visitor, sister. do you have a visitor? That's just what we call. So one thing, if you all may know this or not, but when you work with the paranormal, we do a few clearings every week. We've got them scheduled, and some go on our channel and some don't. We don't make that a priority. They do help, however, when they go on our channel. Anyway, when someone contacts us, the earthies, the ghosts, the unhealed spirits, whatever you want to call them, the activity that's in their home knows who we are, and they come to check us out, and they want to know what the hell's happening, and so they'll come check us out. So that could be whoever's visiting you, could be from any number of people who have contacted us lately.
It could
we have
be.
appointments with.
And it's very interesting that it has stopped. As soon as I started to talk about it happening, it has stopped.
Yes. And how often does that happen, though? When we call out the, like here, I'm not sleeping, I'm rolling around in bed, like, God damn it. And then all of a sudden I go, oh, I have a visitor.
Yeah.
And oftentimes it will subside, or I'll just tell them I'm closed for business right now. You have to come back later, whatever it is. Yeah. You sort of call it out because they like being under the radar. Yes.
They do. They don't necessarily want to be recognized, even though that's what they're doing, is trying to get our attention to be recognized. And at the same time, they don't like it.
No.
They can be very fickle.
Yes.
Yes. Although, it's not really, that's like comparing apples to oranges, right?
Yeah.
An earthy to a living human, but
yes. Yeah.
Oh.
So I guess this, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
Oh, so this whole thing with, I remember, so I have a very, very good friend. She is the most Christian woman I've ever known. She's so beautiful. Her name is Connie. And she and I were in a gift store. This was years ago. And we were in a gift store, and they had some statues of Buddha in there, and I don't know, probably Ganesh and whoever, just they had. And these women came in and they looked at them and they were, oh, what did they have? And they ran out of the store. And Connie looked at me and said, wow, like, how weak is your own faith that you can't even stand next to statues of a Buddha or whatever? That just came to mind. I remember her saying very clearly.
Wow.
And she was so secure in her belief that didn't bother her. I mean, why would it bother her to look at a statue of a Buddha? Buddha was a real person. I mean, know your history, So, yes.
So that fear that was invoked in them of seeing a symbol of another faith.
Yes.
Absolutely triggered their own lack of trust.
Yeah. Yes.
Their own lack of trust.
Yes. And that absolutely went to my meditation yesterday. Yes. And I don't have to, and this goes for everyone, you don't have to justify yourself to anyone. This is a belief system that you have. It's yours. Faith is so personal to each person. You don't have to justify that to anyone. You don't even have to have a conversation. If someone comes up and asks you what you believe, or let's say they want to have a conversation, you don't even have to have that conversation. It's so personal that it's really up to you what you do with that. And I am so talking to myself right now.
So the whole conversation piece it's a hard one to have, because most people don't want to have a conversation, right?
Correct.
Most people want to have
You're absolutely
either
right.
a confrontation,
not
or they want to convince you.
Yes.
They're not interested in hearing what do you really believe and why? And saying
That
what
is
they really
so,
believe and why.
yes.
It's more of, and I will quantify this is my limited experience because my circle is very small
Mhm.
and I just don't get out. I don't
Right,
have reason, purpose to be out with, people very often to where I have these conversations.
right, where there's an issue.
But in my 60 plus years of life, I
Yes.
I have witnessed it quite often to where it's just not um it's just not a conversation people want to have. It's a one-sided,
Yeah.
ooh, I hate to use the word attack,
It can be.
but it can be.
I've been attacked. I've
Um,
been attacked, and it doesn't make sense to me. Why does my opinion matter to you whatsoever? It just that always blows my mind. We disagree. You know that, but you just want to, oh my gosh, what just came in,
yeah.
still connection. Regardless of what, if I engage, if you come and you get mad at me and I engage with that, that person is still feeling that connection, whether it's low vibration, no matter what the vibration is, for them, any connection is
Oh,
better than no connection. Right? So
yes. Yes.
starting, yeah. So starting an argument and connecting, and to connect to someone who they deem worthy of, like if they can walk all over someone and tell them what to, that's no fun for them, right? If you just collapse and say, oh, you're right, oh, you're it, what it, like, that's not fun for, they want that high energy, they want to exchange the energy, they want to feel empowered, they want to feel like they're really doing some good because I'm really telling her what a bitch she is and how she's wrong about everything. Yeah. Huh.
Hmm.
Hey,
Yeah.
connection.
Connection
It really does come down to connection a lot, doesn't it, with all of us?
with so many things. It
Yeah.
comes down to connection. And it's very sad that a low vibrational connection is so much easier to get than a high vibrational one.
What just came to mind is last week's with the no meal's better than oatmeal, as I have to say. Well, a low vibration connection is better than no connection for a lot of people.
For
They'll
a lot of people.
they'll take whatever they can get. If
Yeah.
that, they can't just, they're not
Mm.
self-contained enough or self-aware enough
Mhm.
about their own feelings and what they believe. It doesn't feel real to them unless they can convince you of something. Like they can feel better than you. They can feel better than you. I
Yeah.
remember years ago there, and he might still be at it. I don't know. This man, he was an old man back then. Uh he runs this, it's like a, it's more than an atheist thing. Like I've met atheists and they don't give a shit what anybody thinks. I don't care. You do you, I'll do me, whatever. But this guy had a has some sort of club or something, and they're just nasty, ugly, and they will go after like high profile professional like psychics and mediums. And I remember, I think it was, if anyone knows Sylvia Brown, um she has, I think they're all the ones are passed away now, but anyway, he had said to her, I'll give you $1 million if you can prove to me there's life after death or whatever it is, psychic ability, whatever it was. And he did that to all these people that were famous, these famous psychics. And she said, show me the money. And that stopped him right there. Show me the $1 million. I'll do it. Sure. She agreed. I'll do it. Show me the $1 million. put it in some sort of trust or something, so I know it's there, so I can have it when we're done. And that stopped him right away. But he was just an instigator. He just wanted to, it was like he just wanted to be an asshole. I
Just
think
wanted to wreak havoc.
yes. And I think he just wanted connection with these high profile people to make himself feel like he was
Yeah.
worthy, like he
More
was,
important. And
yes.
yeah.
That his opinion really mattered if he could actually get you to engage these people.
Right.
Oh, there's a, yeah.
Hmm.
It really shouldn't matter. I don't care what other people believe. If you're a happy, loving person who is going through life the best you can, you're not out hurting, you're not creating victims everywhere you go. You're not, you're a healthy person. I don't, like, your belief is your belief, and I don't care.
Yeah.
And it should be the same with what we believe. But
Be.
anyway, that was
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, I clearly just wanted to bring that up because that was a big message.
Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what my message was in that same meditation, because I know it was very different.
Is that the one where you came out flipping me off? No, that was the second one.
That was the second one.
It's not. Now, when I say that, sometimes.
Oh, it's true. I really was right. Just right. Yep, I
was. Yep. But sometimes the messages are so big, and it's one of those. Oh,
yeah.
Dang, that huge clarity moment. And
there's either a thumbs up,
yep,
or a flip off, right? Yeah.
And I just laughed because I know it was a good one when she does that.
Yeah, it was a good one. And I mean, very basically, right? I'm in the bottom of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a box with a lid on it waiting for me to open it. And so I open this box. I take the lid off, and the current just takes the lid away. So the lid is no longer even in play here.
So you cannot close it back up again. You have to look.
There are some things in the bottom of this box that I'm like, I got to get in this box to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear, you're already in the deep end. You're already in the deep end.
So
and you're not drowning. Yeah. What difference does it make if you're in the box or out of the box? And then I'm like, that lid's not coming back to trap you.
No. Or that lid's not coming back for you to ignore this either.
Stop it. I like my version better. I like my version of the lid's not going to trap me. It's kind of more of what Pam said. In addition to, you're already in the deep end when you're fine. That's what resulted in flipping her off.
Yes.
Yeah.
But this clearly, you are bringing a message to someone out there listening.
I believe so.
So I'm wondering if maybe you should just go ahead and keep on channeling some more there.
Yeah. Because when you're already in the deep end.
Yeah.
And you are breathing.
Yes.
And you are surviving, and you're making it through every decision. You're not hurting anyone.
Or it is a decision.
It might be a decision to get into the deep end. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to jump in with both feet.
Yes.
Because that's, for me to get into that box, I couldn't just step in. This was a huge box.
Yeah.
And I had to climb up and be on the lip, and I had to jump in with both feet. Yep. There was no dabbling. There was no Oh, me? There was no peeking. It was all or nothing.
Yeah.
And
And why not?
clearly, yeah. And why not? In my meditation, where I'm already in the deep end, why not jump in with both
Yeah.
feet?
Yeah.
Because
What?
you're already here
Yeah.
and you're fine and you're doing it.
Yes. The
You're
fear is just can be so overwhelming sometimes. And as we always say, fear is a liar. Fear lies to us. Fear tells us that we shouldn't do something or we can't do something or oh, it's going to be so bad if you do it or whatever it is. And it keeps us from living. Fear keeps us from living. And
does.
nothing went wrong. You jumped in, you went down the whatever, you got some beautiful clarity, a beautiful message. And so, and you would not, and had you stayed above on the lip of that,
Yeah.
you'd still be sitting there shaking in your boots that something bad was going to happen or whatever
And
it
I
is.
was still in the deep end.
Yes.
I
So
was
what
still,
the hell?
I was still
Yes.
already there.
Yes.
And sometimes what's coming is that sometimes we see that we have to jump in, but it's really not that we're jumping in to go deeper. Sometimes when we jump in, it's actually taking us higher.
Ooh, I like that. Yes. Absolutely. Ooh, a light bulb just went off for me.
Yeah. Jumping in does not necessarily mean that we're going to go deeper and darker and that we're going to get buried,
Right.
that we're going to fail.
I just keep hearing trust,
Trust.
trust,
Yeah.
trust.
Sometimes jumping in means having the belief in yourself
Yeah.
that you're going to jump and you're going to either land on your own 2 feet
Yes.
or you're going to land on your butt.
Yes. But you know what? You've moved. You've done something.
Even if you jump and you fall flat on your face,
Yep. Yep.
the message that's coming behind that is you're still you.
Yes.
It
Yes.
doesn't matter what
Yep.
part of you lands. You still, you're in movement.
Yep.
You have yourself to rely on.
Yep.
Even if it's a face plant.
Yeah. Been there. Yeah.
And the thing about face plants, sometimes we get the most clarity with those.
Oh boy, do we.
Because boom, it's right there.
Yep.
Right there in our face. And we're so afraid of that. But sometimes that can be the biggest blessing.
Yeah. And we're here to live life.
Yeah.
We are here to get over those things. And what came up when you were talking is that whole manifestation thing. If you're really wanting to manifest those things in your life, whatever it is in your life that you want to manifest, joy, happiness, a car, whatever, whatever this is, it's not going to come to you if you just sit there with your feet in the water, just like waiting for something to happen. That's not the way it happens. We have to be in motion. There's that, I forget what it is, and I'm not going to because I'm going to butcher it, so I'm not going there. But in motion, when you're in motion, spirit can move you so much easier. When you have your feet planted and you're stuck there and you've got your arms crossed like a 3-year-old just getting stubborn and not going,
right?
Spirit can't do anything with that. That's your shit. That's your ego. That's your pain. That's your trauma. That's your wounding, whatever it might be. Sometimes it's all those things. Sometimes it's one or whatever. And they can't move. You cannot be budged. You are anchored in right there to that self-loathing and not trusting yourself. When you're in movement, spirit can move you. Spirit can just whoop. And, think about it. When you're when you're walking, someone can come and just tap you and you kind of stumble a little bit. That's how but if you're planted, you've got your feet planted, you're standing there, someone touches you that same way on the shoulder, you're not going anywhere.
Or you're going to fall over and you're going to crash and burn.
Ooh, that could be too. Yes, if you're not balanced. Yeah. Yep.
Yep. What I saw was somebody hitting me and me breaking where my legs were locked. And I just broke because I'm so rigid.
Yes.
So
that's a tough lesson.
Unflexible, so unbendable.
Yeah.
So unmovable.
Yeah.
That I broke.
That you broke.
Because we can't stand still and withstand everything.
No.
We can't.
Wow, that is beautiful, Mari-Lyn.
We can't. Even the strongest of trees can get blown over by a stronger wind.
Yes.
They can get uprooted. They can get broken.
Yes.
And
it's true.
We're not any different. If
No.
we're not malleable.
Sure.
Okay, that's a word I use every day.
Not. Yes.
Yeah. If we're not willingly malleable, and that doesn't mean that we go against our own best judgment. That doesn't mean that we let other people mold us.
Right. No.
But that we are willing to move in the directions that spirit moves us.
Yep. Yep. And when we get to that place, one of the hardest things to do, and in my humble opinion, is to say, Pam, what are you really afraid of? What is really going on here? Why are you digging your heels in and refusing to do that thing? What is the real fear?
Yeah.
That's what we need to really ask ourselves. And it's usually something just puny. It's really something just, it's some sort of wounding or something. It's not real. It's not a real, it's, you know, a rattlesnake's not going to come up and bite you.
And yes, it can be something really small. However, the fear that we feel is so real. The feeling is real. The
fear is so much bigger than the actual thing.
The fear is a lie, but that feeling that we get, it's real. We don't make it up.
Nope. No.
But there are ways to learn to recognize when we're taken by that fear and look at it.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to take it apart. We have to unwrap it.
Or you find out that what they're just showing me now is that rattlesnake is rubber. It can't hurt you. Like, why are you freaking out that you're going to die? Yes. When it's just rubber, it cannot hurt you whatsoever.
Cannot hurt you.
No.
Yeah.
You might
take out this,
right? But
you take out this package of fear and you open it up and nothing's there.
Nothing's there.
Nothing.
No.
Yeah.
It can be real, just difficult to face those fears. But I try not to say but. I usually and or whatever. But this is a but. What else are you going to do? Are you going to cower in the corner forever? Are you going to not live? Are you going to choose to not move forward in your life? And yes, some people do. They choose to just crumble in on themselves and to not do anything. I find that to be the saddest thing.
It's horrible.
Oh, someone who falls on their face and trips up and makes a decision that maybe wasn't the best for them or whatever, I give them credit for at least trying. You got out of your own way, and I know Spirit's leading you, and I know that decision you made, even though it didn't go the way you wanted to, there was a lesson there, and you're moving forward.
Sure.
Even when we stumble and fall and face plant, you're learning. and you're moving. And that's really what we're doing here. Yes, when we stay and just get stagnant, and because the fear is so overwhelming, we just lose out on so much of life. So much
So
of life.
much. So much.
And we're many people, including myself, depending on the situation, are afraid to look stupid, or afraid that people are going to laugh, or afraid that, whatever that decision is, you trip and fall and you're going to have a bunch of people laughing at you.
You trip and fall, you are going to have people laughing at you.
Yes. There are a lot of people who think that slapstick stuff is very funny. Yes, they have. Yeah.
And half of those people are going to laugh because they do think it's funny. Half of those people are going to laugh. Okay. I was going to keep doing half and half and half, and that doesn't do, the math doesn't work that way. Okay. There's a group of people that laugh because it's funny. There's other people that laugh because they have so much fear that that's going to be them. And then there's people that laugh out of sheer compassion for you, and they don't know how to express that compassion, because expressing compassion can be judged. So,
oh boy. Yes. Or me, how about all of you who have been a client or a student of mine or whatever, when you get, and Mari-Lyn knows this one too, is when you get a big healing, and afterward, sometimes it can be very painful when my team gets in there and removes a bunch of blocks that your body's been holding on to, moves a bunch of energy, gets it out. We get deep into your shit, and you get a lot of clarity and whatever. And then afterward, like the next day or whatever, you feel like you have a cold, or you're sick, maybe you have a back, whatever it is, because you're releasing at this point. You'll text me or email me or call me or whatever, and I just laugh. And I'm laughing out of sheer joy. Because I know what that means. That means that you faced that fear and you said, no more. I'm letting you go. I'm moving that aside. I'm going to get in there. I'm going to see what I'm so afraid of. And I'm going to start to heal that. And I'm going to start to let go and get rid of it. And there's really nothing that makes me happier than that. I feel so happy at your pain, but it's in that. It really does come from that compassion and the knowing. How many times have I been there? All the healing I've done. I know what's on the other side of it, and it's glorious. It is glorious when we let spirit in.
I will say though, there is a very odd feeling of coming out of a healing and being so raw. And Pam's sitting there going, it's, I have come to actually do that my own self with my own clients.
Yes.
But it is an interesting thing to witness somebody's joy when you feel like you're in such pain. But as you learn what that pain means, then you can appreciate the joy, and then you come to even you get to a point where you're going through something and you feel the pain, and you can be your own cheerleader.
Yes.
This feels awful, and I hate this, but yay me, because I'm doing the work. I'm doing it, and I'm getting through it.
And I always
tell people, does happen.
Yes, I always tell people, tomorrow you're going to feel like crap. Drink lots of water, and remember, this is a good thing. You're healing. You're releasing a bunch of crap, and you're going to get through it. So it's, get through, because some people really get like a bad head cold, or aches and pain. They feel like they have the flu, or there's all sorts of ways you can feel after a really good healing. Yes. And it also says when the symptoms are that bad, that also says that you were ready. You were so ready to let go of all of that. Oh, and how beautiful is that? And when we let go of all of that, spirit comes in, always spirit comes in and replaces it with something beautiful.
Always.
We can only hold so much energy in our body. And if we're holding all the low vibrational wounding, traumas, adopted thinking,
Yeah.
all that bullshit,
Yeah.
we don't really have the room for the good stuff, the beauty, the gifting, the love. So yeah, get rid of that. Time to get rid of that stuff. So yes, I do laugh at people's pain, but I but I'm always so happy because I know what's coming. I know how good spirit.
Right.
I know the love of spirit, and I know what you're going to be getting when you get rid of all that garbage, that just baggage that you're
It's just baggage.
carrying around. Yep.
Extra. Blah. Yeah.
Yes, it's miserable. Absolutely.
It is.
Yes. So, whew, wow, we went down a road, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh.
Ooh, so that all started with people, how much faith do you have in what you believe, and how much faith do you have in yourself? And
Yeah.
And that's another good thing too. Here's something as well. To just have faith is one thing. To also dig into your own faith and why do I feel this way? Why do I believe this way? Is a really good thing. There are things that, so I will say there have been people who have challenged that with me. They didn't know they were, but they did. Why do you believe this way? And I didn't really have an answer for them. It's like, oh, wow, I guess I really need to, I want to think, why do I believe this? Because for those of you who know me, I have so much trust. When spirit tells me something, I take it for gospel. That's it. That's the way it is. And I don't often sort of look into it or look around it. Why do I believe this way? I don't always do that. And I do think it's good to do that, to solidify what it is that I believe. I think that's a good thing, which part of these conversations, I think, helped me with that.
Oh, absolutely. At least for myself, I can only speak to myself. But when we examine what we believe and the trust that we have in what we believe, at least for me, it makes me look at how much do I believe in myself? How much trust do I have in myself?
And to be willing to change your mind, to be willing to say, oh, I've done many a times with our conversations, I'll go, oh, I didn't think of it that way. Oh, okay. And I'll not necessarily like all of a sudden everything has changed, but in a particular situation or a particular conversation, I'll start to think differently. I'll expand what I already believe into accepting something else because I didn't think that there was maybe another way of looking at that.
Sure.
So I think that is opening up to a different perspective would be more than changing my mind. It's like, oh, okay, I can see where you think that.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Wow. I just expanded the way I thought about that.
Right. Because I love this analogy of the football game. There's one football game that gets played, right? But how many seats are in a football stadium?
Right.
I don't know. I'm just going to say 1,000 because that's
are you actually asking? I thought you were just, okay.
But there's one football game literally being played. However, there's 1,000 football games being seen.
Yes.
And they're all different because they all come from a different perspective.
Yes.
And you've got one person sitting, up close and over to the right, and another person to the left, but up high. Oh, they've got a whole different view.
Right.
On that game. And in a conversation, they could come up with how many ever different games there are in just discussing what they what they witnessed. So that's true with life and with everything that we experience. There's so many perspectives
Yep.
to everything. Absolutely everything.
Yeah. And being, you know, being okay with, you know, one thing that is very unfortunate, certainly in the United States, is it's okay to hate another person because they have a different opinion, especially like politically, right? It started there. Like we're going to get you to hate the other side. So you think everything they do is horrible and you're going to stay voting for this, whatever side you're on. Both sides do it. And it's a disgrace, in my opinion. And it's really created over the years this belief that I'm right and you're wrong. And if you're wrong, that means I hate you. And it's really it's really hard for people to have just decent conversations anymore. Let's just talk about this. Why does it have to be good and bad or evil and good, whatever it is? And just be okay with being different. Being okay with, we have a different, Mari-Lyn and I have, there are several topics that we think completely different on. And that's okay. I love her anyway. She's wrong, but I love her anyway. I'm kidding. But I don't actually think that really was a joke. So it's okay to practice, I disagree with you, and I'm going to stand in my own belief and be secure with that. And that allows the other person to have their belief and believe with it. Just because someone has a different opinion, they have a different religion, they have whatever it is, does not mean they're evil and wrong. Like
No.
we've somewhere in all of this have missed the spiritual part of each of us.
I had said earlier on about people laughing at someone that trips and falls because they don't know how to show their compassion.
Yes.
And what you just described is an area where people find it hard to show compassion. There's a difference of opinion.
Yes.
And
they find it as a personal attack to them sometimes,
yeah.
You go ahead with that.
Yeah. But there's a difference of opinion, right? And you totally disagree on something, but one person is really hurting for whatever reason. Could be a different reason, could be they're really hurting over this disagreement. It's so difficult to show compassion for someone you disagree with.
Right. Yep.
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
We should be able to go, I don't agree with you, but I am so sorry that you're in pain.
Yes.
Is there something outside of agreeing with you?
Right. Yes.
Is there something you need? Is there something you need? Very simply that.
It really amazes me how often people can be happy that like someone died because they didn't agree with them. That person, say, got cancer and died or something, and they will be almost joyful over that because they disagreed with them. So that person had to be a piece of shit. It's like, where does that come? This is just an erosion of human dignity. Everyone deserves dignity. Everyone deserves to be shown, and their life matters. Everyone's life matters. True. And we've just gotten away from that in our culture. I blame a lot of, whatever I'm trying to say. Woo, that one left me.
I can tell you that part of that comes from wounding and trauma.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
And the lack of
Oof.
being able to process our pain.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what that produces. It produces that hatred.
Yes. And so many people will talk about how they are, they're empaths, and this happens a lot in the metaphysical community. As you all know, I talk about all the time, I know a lot of psychics and a lot of healers and they're these beautifully compassionate people until there's someone who disagrees with them. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, hold on. You just got done telling me you're an empath and you're this and you're that, but you have no empathy for anyone else or someone who doesn't agree with you. There's that. And I think I don't know if you actually said it or I sort of took it from what you were saying. But that wounding is sort of what keeps us in that place of, because we're not really hating the other person, we're hating something about ourselves. It's that wounding. When we get triggered, am I going down the path that you understand or no? So
I do understand.
Okay. So,
but I want to say that the
yes.
path you're going down and the path that I was on are different paths, and they absolutely exist at the same time. They can intertwine.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, seeing someone as a spiritual being, and they're doing the best they can, and in their human form, they are wounded and broken and have been traumatized, and they are doing whatever they need to do to get their needs met.
Mm-hmm.
Even if that means coming at me, and so this all comes back to, thank you, Spirit, coming back at me angrily, or whomever, but I'm using myself because that's what's coming right now, tying me back into that meditation. Sometimes I will even forget, if you come at me really angrily and you're judgmental and you're calling me names or you're, whatever it is, I have to remember where that's coming from. It's that other person's lack of feeling
but
worth,
it's hard,
feeling dignity, feeling whatever that is, and they're dumping it on me. Yes,
but it's hard.
It's very hard.
It is very hard to go to that place of spiritual.
Yes.
Yeah.
Certainly can be.
Yeah. And thank you for that. Can be, because it isn't always. There are times where it's like I have experienced getting hit with something not so nice. And it's like instant compassion for that person. It's like,
yes,
wow, you are so wounded. I'm so sorry. Not that I'm verbally saying this out loud to them, but it's like, oh my gosh, that has nothing to do with me.
Right.
So sometimes it's quite natural to just go to that spiritual place. But other times when it hits that wounding, man.
If your wounding smacks my wounding, I'll bet I get triggered, and I will eventually come to that place of, okay, that was not about me. That hit my wound. Like I can see it for what it really is. But when it first hits, not always. Yes.
Yeah, it's tough. And even wounding that we've healed can still get triggered.
Yes.
It's different. I mean, it doesn't send us into a spiral or anything, but it can still get triggered and touched upon.
Yes.
But wow, so much better. I'd so much rather have a wound that I've done healing on triggered than something
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because really at that point, oftentimes it's just, we remember what it was.
Yeah.
And so it's much easier to navigate that. Or
Yep.
how many times have we healed something, but there's still a habit in there?
Oh, the habit.
There's still
Ooh.
some adopted thinking in there, or that muscle memory or what that isn't quite gone yet.
Yeah.
You know, that
And that
happens.
can be, getting triggered by somebody and to find, wow, this is a stupid habit I have.
Yes.
That's fabulous.
Yes.
Because those habits they can just wreak havoc. Hey, I said that 2 or 3 times now.
Habits can wreak havoc. Habits can wreak havoc.
They
Woo,
can.
that's a mouthful.
But yeah, habits are
Yeah.
habits are no good.
No bueno.
Mm-mm.
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 See, Alma, I know some Spanish. I know she's laughing at me right now. No bueno. One of my beautiful students who speaks Spanish, and anyway, she'll get it.
Habits, man.
Whew. Yeah.
I don't think habits are something we break, right? Habits are something we have to heal.
I would think so. I think we just use that term, the term of breaking them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Because you have,
Even,
I think like anything, what do they say? It takes you doing something, I don't know, like 12 times or 20 times before it creates a habit or something. And then
I have so disproven that. So here's my thought on that.
Yes.
My personal opinion.
Yes.
We do not create good habits.
Okay.
Habits are a way to bypass.
Yes.
Habits are a way to stay in a lower vibration.
Yes.
Habits are a way to just hold on. We do whatever we have to do to keep ourselves in a certain vibration that keeps us from expanding. Habits, we do not have good habits.
No.
I stand by that. We can create healthy routines.
Yeah.
We can create healthy rituals,
Right.
you want to call them. But anything that is a habit is something that's done without thought. That's something that's done without I was going to say purpose, but that's not really accurate. But they're not done with the purpose of growth.
Okay.
Habits are not done with the purpose of growth.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just as you were talking, I was seeing myself like you can get into you know where you're going if you're going to work or you're going to the grocery store or whatever, and you just sort of mindlessly drive there. Like you just, we're creatures of habit, really.
Yep.
And you can just sort of let go.
And how dangerous is that to go to the grocery store? How dangerous is that to drive anywhere?
Yes.
Mindlessly.
Yes. It's not good.
It's not good.
No.
And when we're in the habit of doing that,
and then going into the grocery store completely ungrounded.
Completely ungrounded. That's when you've gone by the same aisle in different directions 4 times.
Yes. 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 Or when you keep forgetting, like you're going to get 2 items.
Yep.
And you get to the checkout and you don't have either item in your basket. Like, nope. That's like, damn.
When I teach grounding, I use the grocery store as a thing. When you're going through the store and you're pushing the cart and you're like, I know I need something else. I know I need something else. And you can't remember.
Yeah.
You're not grounded.
Nope. Get grounded and it'll pop right in. Boom.
Yep. And it's a great way to explain how variations of being grounded there are.
Yeah, I would agree with
Because
that.
you do not need to be meditation ready grounded.
No,
when you're at the grocery.
That's probably not a good thing to.
Probably not.
Yes,
Probably not.
and we've all seen people who are not grounded at the grocery store too.
Yes.
My husband always says people drive their carts the way they drive cars, or they fix their carts the way they drive cars. You always know if someone's a real, like, you don't want to be out there on the street when they're out there. Because it's just oh, she's laughing. Spirit's got her now. She's but it's true.
I am a better driver in a car than
grocery cart pusher.
okay. My husband pushes the grocery cart.
So you can be as ungrounded as you want to be.
I'm a good driver, darn it.
Uh-huh. I want everyone to think about that next time you go to the grocery store. Most
of the time when I drive, I am by myself. So I am a good driver.
Damn it. I am a good driver. God damn it.
But seriously, I am a good driver.
Seriously, folks. Don't forget to tip your waitress.
Yeah. Man, I don't know why that.
It's funny. It's funny.
I seriously felt like my driving.
So I want all of you to think about that the next time you go to the grocery store. Don't grab them back. Don't grab one of the little handheld baskets. No. Get a cart and push the cart. Yes.
Push the cart. Yes. And I felt like my driving was being attacked.
Yes. Yes.
So I don't know why something got triggered in me. Yeah. So funny.
That's so funny. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. You're so pretty. I'm sorry, you're drinking. I shouldn't say those things. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that was funny.
Yes.
Come back.
Yes. Oh, this has been a fun conversation today. I don't know if we're quite over yet, but maybe getting there. Do we have anything else to I
don't know. I'm still comparing my car to my driving.
Damn it, Mike.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
We have grocery store. Ugh. We have family, my husband's family. They live most of his extended family. Aunts, uncles, cousins, that sort of thing live back east, and they will be coming to visit next week. Yes, so I have to go to the grocery store, do a lot of, we're having one day here actually on Sunday. We're having them all here, and I'm making a big brunch, and I think there's about 25 people going to be here.
Oh, that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of
people.
So I'll be making it, it's brunch, so it's and my beautiful daughter-in-law is going to, she is such a baker. Oh, the girl can bake. She's going to make homemade cinnamon rolls.
Oh,
I know. I'll save you one. They're so good.
Only if they're gluten-free.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh, maybe I should tell her. She has to do gluten-free too. But so we'll see what. Yeah, I'll tell her. I'm going to write that down. Gluten-free, please. But she is, yeah. Some people they can just bake. It just makes sense to them. And she puts the love. Last week we talked about that love. She puts the love in everything. I'm really surprised that my son is not like 500 pounds, because she's always baking and whatever. And good stuff. And she was raised in the country, so it's more kind of like Southern, even, that real comfort food. When she cooks, it's comfort food, and it's lovely, but it's fattening. very,
Well, I hope she's able to hold on to that love of doing it.
me too. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I lost it.
Yeah, I did too. I did.
Lost it.
Yeah. I remember when my kids went off to college, I was like, I'm done. Done. I just can't do this anymore. I hate cooking. It was years before I started cooking again. I mean, I would do little bits here and there, but not the same having
Mhm.
dinner. And because that was important to us to have the family together for dinner.
Mhm.
Even though with school and sports and all of those things, sometimes it was a 10-minute dinner, but it didn't matter. We all came together and we still sort of checked in
Yeah.
for a moment. So that was really important. So as soon as they were gone, see ya, I'm out. Yeah. Yes. So, whoo,
Oh,
this has been a good day.
yeah, has.
So I do want to say to everyone, if you have something that you want us to talk about, let us know.
Yes, please do.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And some things we might tell you, I'm sorry, we won't talk about that.
Might. We
We
might.
might, but for the most part, we're going to, but we would also say something. But um yeah, because I
Yeah.
know that a lot of you tell us all the time you like it when we just sit here and just talk and whatever comes, comes. But it's always nice to have a starting point.
It
So,
is.
so if you have something you'd like us to talk about, we would start there and then just let
Yeah.
ourselves just go.
Yeah. That would really be amazing. And you can reach us through our website at
Mm,
tcseverydayspsychics.com.
mhm.
Just fill out the contact us form
Yep.
and let us
Ah,
know.
that's
Yeah.
another thing, Mari-Lyn. We have to change our website. We have so many things that we have to do, and we have things to change on there. The information
Well,
is like if you go on the website, you read the information. That it's not like, oh, all of a sudden Pam's not doing healings anymore. It's not like that. We
yeah,
just,
what's on there is accurate.
yes,
We just need to make it more accurate.
yes, and add some things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's some things.
yes.
Yeah. I
So
know. I think we've been talking about this for a couple of weeks
yeah,
and
we haven't done it.
we haven't done it. And I was getting messaging the other day from Spirit. You need to sit down and do this. You need to figure out what
Yes,
you're going to put on there, and
yes,
because things are kind of changing for me, and
yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
got to
in a
figure it
good
out.
way. That's one thing about this beautiful, beautiful journey that we're on. Spirit moves you and
Yeah.
things change all the time, which is so good for me. I cannot, as you know, Mari-Lyn's known me long enough. I get bored easily. I don't know if it's that I'm, Gemini, whatever it is, but I get bored easily. So I need change, and Spirit changes all the time. It's always bringing new stuff and moving me in different directions, and it's wonderful. So
Mm-hmm.
we have to get to that. And we have
Have to.
big things coming, and we'll let you know about those things when they come a little more into fruition, because we know you'll all love them. So yeah, and if those, and I know we know that there are people who listen to our podcast but don't watch our paranormal channel. I think we hit on this a little bit earlier, so I want to talk about this because I think the people that listen to our podcast because you enjoy the spiritual piece, I think you would enjoy what we do now. Uh,
Oh, I
Mari-Lyn
would hope so.
Mari-Lyn and I are paranormal mediums. So we believe that when we leave this body, sometime there are many different reasons. I'm not going to go into all those, but we get sort of, they call it stuck. And I guess it is kind of stuck, but we choose to
Stuck.
be in that realm of being a ghost. It's very unusual. So for those, it's really not, most people cross over. Anyway, it's very dangerous to live with ghosts. Since ghost
Mhm.
hunting has become such the thing it's become, people sort of believe now that it's okay to have activity in your home. Like it's kind of cool, man. I got a ghost
Yeah.
upstairs, or I have this, that, whatever. And it isn't. Mari-Lyn and I've over 20 years professionally been working with people to cross over ghosts. And those things are even less than ghosts. There are a lot, sometimes you can have a lot of things in your home, and they can make you physically sick, emotionally sick. They break up marriages. I mean, having activity in your home, and not just the activity, the energy in the home becomes so dense and so low. And there's things called grids. That's what kind of like the veils between dimensions, and that's pretty involved too. Anyway, those can get broken. It causes a lot of problems, lots of problems. So we decided we are so done with the reaction videos. We only put on our channel now videos where we go in. It's actually all over Zoom, but we clear people's homes for them in real time. You watch it happen in real time. Clear them out, and you can see the people when we first start up. People actually look younger at the end of the video. It's beautiful, but it's such a spiritual experience.
It's phenomenal.
Yes. And the last 6 or 7 videos, I don't know how many are. The last ones, and we label it as ghost healers. So that's how you'll know if it's a bit there. It's an extremely beautiful spiritual experience. So if you haven't watched them, we would ask you to just experience it. Just go watch one. And if you don't find the beauty in it or whatever, that's okay. But if you do, I think you're really going to enjoy them. That is absolutely spirit at work. We are conduits for spirit, and we get to bring in love and cross over those spirits, so they get to go home and get healed. Even the ones that we think are nasty and mean, they deserve to be crossed over too. Absolutely. Or taken away. There's something
they have to be taken away.
They have to be taken away.
There's no other way, but
but it's a beautiful experience. Maybe we should, paranormal mediums, we need to add something in there about spiritual. Like maybe we need to change the name of what we do. Honestly, I just thought of that because it is such a huge spiritual experience.
It is.
It's beautiful. It's healing. We're coming in and we're healing the dead, the living, the earth. Everything's getting healed. And we're only 5% of it. Spirit does the rest.
There's a number of things that we do, terminology within what we do, that just don't fit. The terminology doesn't fit exactly what we do. We need to come up with our own terminology.
We do. Yes.
We need to write our own dictionary.
Sometimes we have adopted sometimes the TCS dictionary. Sometimes we have adopted words, because that's what's known. It is this is the terminology that's known, and so we use it because
that is exactly what adopted is. Adopted thinking. Adopted terminology.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep. Yes. So anyway, we need to come up with something else. We should maybe even on our website have a list of terminology.
Oh, a glossary.
A glossary. That's it.
A glossary. I love that word, a glossary.
Glossary. Yes.
Yeah.
A glossary. And you know what? We talk big, but it'll be a year before we get a glossary on it. We talk all big and tough, like we're gonna get on that and we're gonna change it all.
Write it down. Glossary.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yes. I really think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
How often are we asked about, simple terms?
All the time.
Simple terms like grids.
Yes. Like attachment.
The P word.
The P word.
I don't even want to say the P word because
I'll say it. Poltergeist. It is. That is one of the misinterpreted words of much of what we do. That one gets misinterpreted all the time. And attachment. Yeah. Sometimes it's just the verbiage is like, okay, we just call it differently. But then with poltergeist, that is just so misused.
And there's, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's like become an umbrella for so many different things.
Which is sad.
And it's just not accurate. It's just not right.
And part of it too is the way spirit brings us messaging and stuff, spirit doesn't have that verbiage that we humans have.
Right. And spirit doesn't need to use labels.
No. And people ask us all the time, well, what was that entity?
What was
I don't know, it's a low vibrational entity. And they want to know specifically what was that. And it's like, I don't know, because spirit doesn't bring it to me in that way.
And it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But all the ghost hunting stuff and the whatever, and just being human, we want to label everything.
The only reason it matters to know what a low vibrational being is to perpetuate fear.
Ooh, absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. You are 100% correct on that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. But if you're
listen sometimes,
you'll find the links to our YouTube channels.
Yep.
But on YouTube, we are TCS Everyday Psychics. That's that channel that does the paranormal stuff.
Yep.
Paranormal, spiritual, metaphysical. So all of those things all brought together, just like yes, it's all brought together.
A big conglomeration.
Yes, and we are going to, I think, maybe even talk more paranormal stuff on our podcast too. Just talking about how it all comes together.
It is part of the spiritual journey, and I think it's only fair that we talk about it every once in a while.
Yes, agreed. It is very much a part of it. A ghost, that earthy, what we call them, an earthbound spirit or earthy, or an unhealed spirit is also, if you're stuck there, you are unhealed. You are not crossed over to what we might call heaven, to those higher realms where you're healed. So that's an unhealed. So we help them go get healed.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's part of the journey. It is part of the journey. And it's part of our journey to help them move over.
Yes.
Cross over. Move over. Yeah. All right. I think I said, okay, are we about 20 minutes ago? And then, yeah.
I also think you said, no, we're not quite.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look at me. I'm smart. Yeah.
You are.
I'm not just pretty.
Pretty and smart.
Those of you who've been listening to us for a while, you get what I say when I say that. Anyway, all righty. I think this is it now.
I think so.
Yes.
Yep.
We love you for tuning in. Thank you so much. We're so grateful, so very grateful that you spend your time with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And every week you come in and spend.
Who'd have thunk?
Who'd have thunk it?
Who'd have thunk?
Yes. Yes. And we do put these videos on the Conscious Spirit podcast on YouTube as well. If some of you ever think, you kind of have to know what they look like. Whatever. Yeah.
If you don't, it's okay. But
and that's okay too. Yes. I think a lot of people are podcast in the car. I turn podcasts on in the car. That's my, I just listen while I'm going. A lot of people, when they're working, they have it playing.
True.
Yeah. So it's nice either way, but all right, people, we love you.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.